Okay.
Hello and good day to everyone. Thank you for joining us for our LinkedIn Live today, where we will be talking about next generation non repudiation. I am Upasna, co founder and CEO of Bluebricks. At Bluebricks, we specialize in cybersecurity and digital transformation products and solutions. We are committed to empowering businesses with innovative tools that secure their digital environments and drive growth. Our LinkedIn Live series are designed to share knowledge and insights from our team members and also by other industry experts. These sessions are for everyone here, aimed at helping you and your businesses thrive and grow. With me today, we have Vikram Sareen sharing his
Yeah.
knowledge on the topic today. Vikram,
Thank you.
Vikram, could you move to the next slide?
Sure.
Thank you. Vikram is the co founder and CTO of Bluebricks. He's a seasoned cybersecurity expert with over 25 years of industry experience. He holds multiple awarded patents and has successfully commercialized multiple B2B enterprise products. He is a regular speaker at discussion panels and events and is also an independent business technology advisor and or director in other companies. This is an impressive list of products that he has created and commercialized. I must make a mention that President Bill Clinton used one of the products that he was a co-creator of, to sign the Digital Act in 2000. So, getting right into today's topic is next generation non repudiation. Um, Simply put, and I know it sounds like a lot of words, but to repudiate means to deny, to refuse to accept something. In a legal or formal context, it means someone denying responsibility for an action, statement, or agreement. And so non repudiation is simply means to ensure that someone cannot deny that they took a specific action. So we always talk about security, but we don't always talk about non repudiation. In the real world, it would mean a lot of times in our interpersonal interactions within the HR teams, with employers, with vendor and supplier relationships. But in the digital world, non and today we're going to talk about what it means in the digital world.
Yeah.
So in the
That's
digital world, non-repudiation makes sure that if someone sends a message, signs a document, or makes a transaction, they cannot later claim that they did not do it. I'll hand it over to you now, Vikram. Thank you.
yeah. Thank you. I think Sana, you put it quite nicely. If you ask me, I might get more techie. I think Sana said it very rightly that not denying, that you didn't do it or you did it is the fact of it. So if you didn't sign it or sign it, so that's more important that to enforce non-repudiation. And I think that's where it is coming. Now, jumping into next 5 to 7 minutes, little bit, part techie, part, I would say layman would be. So we always talk about in security about CIA. So it's about making it confidential so it doesn't get disclosed, and having integrity so that it is not altered. Alteration is different, meaning that somebody has altered the data on the way. Like, and then last is making it available. So this is the core fundamental of when we talk about implementing the right security in place. Now lately, under NIST also they have kind of extended it and they have added two more pillars. And the next two pillars are authenticity and non-repudiation. So, and that means that it is there. That means that now, because the world has suffered for last 10, 20 years, where people have denied, they didn't do it. So that's where non-repudiation has become a pillar, an important pillar of ensuring that the person is not denying and we can enforce it. So it's a big shift, from the 3 to a 5 pillar, strategy that every cyber security product or solution should offer. Now, these are few of the examples. So I think most of us have signed documents. We have visited websites. Every time when you go to a website, it actually shows you whether it's a trusted website or a not trusted websites. So there's an underlining non-repudiation that is happening over there. Are you talking to the right website? Are you the one who's signing the document? And in a X and Y, X to Y, applications, which we talk about general world. So there are machines also talking, meaning one machine talking to another machine, or a human like you and me talking to, two machines or other users. So in these scenarios, non-repudiation is required. So some examples are, where you have, I'm transferring money using Swift, which is one of the protocols, which all the banks are connected to. And in that also, I want to make sure that the one which is sending me the money or transferring the money does not repudiate. So that's where good, great example of non-repudiation to be enforced. And second is human to server, where I am using my certificate for submitting my online tax form, or I am also acknowledging receipts, which are being given out. So these are few scenarios where a human is talking to the server, or server is talking to a server, machine is talking to a machine, right? And there are more examples, which are listed over here. And again, I think Sana, to you, I have you experienced any one of these? Like a
Yes, yes,
mortgage,
yes.
property.
Absolutely, absolutely, Vikram. Even just something very simple as me switching on my aircon with my phone, that is an example of, am I the one who's doing it really? Then also when we are signing our documents for mortgage, or for our home loan documents. So
Yeah.
yes, agreed, there is digital signing, but could it could it have been sent to a different email id, because, or could it be that somebody else could have access to my email id and sign, or
Right.
enter in some wrong information? So those I think are the issues that we are going to be talking about today.
Yes, yes, we're very right. Spot on. I think those are the issues which somebody accessing my, email ID and signing on my behalf becomes a problem.
Hmm.
And then I cannot deny I didn't do it because it was on my email. So that means the
Correct.
system itself should have done a better job, right? And you're
Correct.
spot on. So I think in next two slides, we'll very quickly look at what are the typical problems, that are there. And I think these problems themselves become an opportunity for us, right? So the first is, vendor locking. Typically you go with one vendor, you have their account, you use it, and then you get locked with it. This is not just in, in space of, non-predation or digital signing, but in also in other places like cloud and, ISPs and phones and everywhere. So, but this is again a problem which is, which locks you down. And the second is quantum threat. So as we know that there are, machines which are very powerful, and they are called like supercomputers, which are actually using quantum computing, and they are very easily able to crack, the current, I would say, the encryption standards or the key length that they have. So which obviously becomes a bit of a threat that, if I'm doing something now, can it be broken in the future? So there is a threat which is there. And the third one is the identity part. And I'll take example of what, Sana said earlier, that how do I know, it was me or it was somebody else pretending to be me, impersonating me. So in that case, before I sign, can I actually look at, who are you, right? Do you have an identity, using your driving license or something else like that? So that means right now, if you see, there is no identity check getting done before, you do a signing or before you sign your mortgage, or, before one server talks to another server. And then lastly, I think is one of the issues which we have found out is also lack of standardization. uh, which again is a problem that, countries don't talk to each other, vendors don't talk to each other, or they don't have a standardized way of doing it, like especially in e-signing. Then how do we go ahead? Uh,
Absolutely. And also because we're not living in hard set borders anymore. There's always transactions happening between vendors, suppliers of different countries. It's all quite open right now.
yeah,
And
that's very
the
true.
lack of standardization is very clear.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope everything is standardized, but sadly it's not. That's how we all are, right? Different.
Yes.
Everybody's different. Now, a little bit more to add over there to that, top, I would say, list over there, was that there could be an implementation error, or the implementation which is done by a human, possibly had a bug. So I think a lot of us face that, CrowdStrike bug, which was just a bug, but it kind of, brought down, a lot of businesses and caused in, losses in billions. So again, that's a human thing. Then uh, still very disconnected. So if let's say there's a scenario where three people have to come together for a financial advisory and sign a document together. There are still not, products which can do that. So again, it kind of pushes off the non-repudiation, because if it was supposed to be witnessed by somebody, but then there was nobody, right? Because you're doing it individually. So how do I prove that yes, this was me done with somebody's company, right? And that is kind of coming back again and again. So we get a lot of use cases from our clients which ask for these kind of stuff, that, oh, why don't I have this feature, why don't I have that feature? So still disconnected is one of the big ones. And lastly, fake documents. So a lot of documents which are coming as attachments to to master documents which you're signing, sometimes they are altered, sometimes they are tampered, the content is tampered, photos tampered, things like that. So these kind of make it the next list of what are the typical problems that are there in today's digital signing, yeah, or today's non-repudiation implementation. Yeah. So I think a good list. Anything you want to add, Sana, from your experience?
Um, yeah, now this
Or,
list is good, Vikram, but I agree with you that when I'm signing my documents, right, there's typically no ID verification. So that again is a concern. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, sounds good. Okay, then let's jump into how we will solve these, because I think that's why most of you are here. So these are again, I would say recommendations that we are making. Our own product Verify now has few of the features or most of them. But the idea is that if you're looking at a solution, which should bring you non-repudiation, you should also ask these questions. So our intention is to share the knowledge for when you're choosing your vendor, either as an enterprise or as an individual, you should be looking at these, these features, made
Yes,
available. So let's dive into
absolutely.
it.
Because there's one part of the story is what's available out there, right? But what's
Yeah,
driving the availability is what we as businesses are asking our vendors for. So when
yeah,
clients
yeah,
come and ask us, do you have this feature, because I have a certain use case that I want to be addressed, and that pushes us to think innovatively and try and solve that problem, because if one is having, others would be having it as well. So it's
yeah.
important to it's just part of sharing information, so that when you're making a call, you need to ask these questions or think about what needs to be answered for you in your situation.
Yes, so true, so true. If we ask smart questions, I think we'll get good answers, right? So first one would be, quantum safe. So, this is just a quick snippet of, what algorithms are working well, and what algorithms, will help us when we move into the quantum world or the quantum safe world. Now, uh, I'm not getting into the technical details, but algorithms are there. They are quantum safe. You have keys which are quantum safe. So your next certificates that you use will be quantum ready. So don't worry about it. All you need to do is just ask for the certificates which are quantum ready and safe. So meaning it's just a step ahead. It will be a technical change. You don't have to change anything else. It's just a technical change that will come in and which will make you quantum safe. So all the headache and all the hard work is getting done by the vendors and by the suppliers if they're working on it, to make sure this is available to you. Yeah. And second one is the using video. I think video is great, because right now, even if you look at us, we are real, we are presenting to you, and that's what makes it amazing, because I can see you, I know you're real, there's nothing fake about it, I know you're sane. So a lot of questions in terms of EKYC or sanity or liveliness, and a lot of things get solved over here. And then plus you can ask a lot of things like, can you show me your ID? Hey, can you confirm, are you going to sign on this paper? So a lot of things can be done in an audiovisual experience, which become part of the video call that is there at the time of signing, right? And it can be a multi-party. And the best advantage which I like is it can be totally global. So if you have people who are overseas, or if you have entities who need to sign and they are present anywhere in the world, they can do that, right? And it's instantaneously, like you can just get on it and get the job done. And it kind of removes all the the paper printing out and flying it out. So the digital value is there, but more importantly, it makes it real and it makes it quick. Yeah. So using video is another highly recommended option that can eliminate a lot of things that you see over here. Then the next one is blockchain and smart contract. So this is very, very interesting, because when you look at it, blockchain is built on digital certificates and digital signing. But what we are talking here is totally opposite. What we are saying is that can I use blockchain and smart contracts and use it for the purpose of bringing non-repudiation using digital signing, right? So that means I am using totally in a reverse way. But amazingly, it makes sense. Why? Because of all the things you see over here. It's available forever. It's tamper resistant. You can have, I would say the whole actions are, logged. You can share it with different nodes internationally or locally. So it's such a beautiful use case of using the core technology of blockchain and smart contract for bringing the next generation, I would say non-repudiation. Yeah. So I love this part. There are very few companies working on it, but again, the way we have built our product, we have, made sure that, it's a plug and play, so it can go into the old way of doing things, or it can go to the new way of doing things, and then taking it ahead, and I think that's where we see the future, going ahead, because this will really make it, very transparent, very immutable, and extremely powerful for anybody to non-repudiate, or repudiate. Yeah. So now I think we are up to a little bit more time. I think we have almost crossed 15 minutes time. Next is use IDV. So IDV stands for Identity Document Verification. Now, an example is in Australia, we have digital ID, which I can use to validate myself. It is really me. So let's say a property company wants to use it to validate if Vikram is taking a rental, then they can use a digital ID. And same goes for India, same goes for Singapore, same goes for many other places. So the idea here would be, which Sana mentioned earlier, that who am I? Am I the right person doing it? So even if your email was hacked, you could still come here, but they will ask you for IDV. And that makes it very, very powerful. So when we are moving into the next generation, if we have identity validation or verification done before we sign or at the time of signing, it makes it super, 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 super strong. Yeah. And these documents get validated from the central authorities like, Australian ID or India Aadhaar card or, Singapore SingPass and so on and so forth. So that makes it very, very powerful when it comes to enforcing of non-repudiation. Yeah. So Sana, makes sense, right? The question that you asked, getting answered over here.
Yes, absolutely.
And lastly, using AI and ML. So I think in today's world, if I don't talk about AI ML, I think I might be considered off the charts here, old age. But again, over here in non-repudiation, because it is based on a cryptography and the technologies like that, and whatever I shared earlier. But over here, non-repudiation, AI can be used for checking if the documents are tampered, and also bringing that authenticity in it. So if you look at it, how the flow is, the documents are getting captured. So I've just taken something from AWS over here just to show you, that this is something available. It can be stitched to build, something further ahead. Checking for tamper, checking for fraud, checking third-party validation, and then saying, let's consume it. Yeah. So there could be a human loop around it. But in essence, we can use AI ML to bring that value for checking if the documents are good or bad, and then reacting accordingly. Yeah. So now to sum it up, those 5 pillars that we talked about, there are 5 things that you can look on today, which is video signing. Next is blockchain and smart contract. Third is quantum safe. And fourth is bringing AI ML for document protection itself. And lastly, doing trusted IDV verifications or IDVs. So now these 5 are totally bringing you in the next generation of, how you would look at non-repudiation and how your documents will be signed in a better way, with more trust, more reliability, and more, I would say, authenticity, but lastly, enforcing non-repudiation. Yeah. With that, Sana, I'll give it back to you. I'm not sure if there are any questions or answers which I need to give.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vikram. That was really very insightful and informative. Thank you so much. There are a few questions coming in. I'll just take them. So the first is about quantum attacks. As if the word sounds really, it's really out there, and we don't really know too much about it. So is that something that we should be worried about now, or is it something that we need to just park away for the future?
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Future's pretty close. It's near. Yes, but the work
The
has
future
already
is here.
started. Yeah. No, Gen AI didn't exist, so ChatGPT didn't exist 3 years back. So I think, things move very fast. But yes, you're right. Quantum is here, but quantum computing is not just available to anybody. So that's one of the, I would say, the safeguards right now. But eventually, I think it will be, getting into, wherever it does, use or abuse. But right now, you're okay and safe, and you will be okay and safe because companies like, us, like Bluebricks, we are working towards using quantum ready algorithms, using quantum safe keys. So the products or the next generation products will be safe for you to use. And that's our job. That's what we do, right? Making sure that everything, is good for the customers like you. So it's a very valid question, but don't have any fear around it. We are just sharing this because we want to make sure that you know what you're getting into. And when you're going into buying certain software or, procuring anything, like this, then you should ask whether it's quantum safe or not. That's the whole emphasis. But technology is there, knowledge is there, people are there, products are there, which should be able to address that.
Thank you, thank you. Do you suppose we have time? I think just a minute for another one. So talking about blockchain, how can a company use non-repudiation with blockchain?
I think a great question again. Answer might be a bit long, but imagine that all your, procurement or your new ESG requirement reporting
Mm,
that has to be
mm,
done. So if we bring it
mm,
on blockchain and then
mm,
complement it with, doing something like signing in the front, with IDVs and many other things that we talked about, it's a very good, perfect solution that can be very transparent, very highly trusted, authentic, having non-repudiation. So it's a bit of a deeper question, I think, because of time sensitivity. I cannot answer in depth, but it definitely it's a beautiful use case for BFSI or oil and gas or health, or any I would say defense setup. Many like land records, many use cases which can leverage on this. But yes, the question is a very valid question, and answer is yes. There are many use cases that can be used, in a corporate setup. Yeah. We can just take
that's,
one more if you just want to extend another, 3, 5 seconds or 10, 20 seconds. Yeah, just to be fair.
yeah, sure. So video signing is very innovative. Um, Can you
Yeah.
suggest a product that does it? And how do you ensure that the video and document it's all linked together, Because a video call is a
Yeah.
video call and document signing is document. So document signing, so far these are two separate things.
Yeah. Very good question. I must say that, that kind of puts the two things together, and it's a very valid
Mm,
question. Okay. In Verify now, we have done that. So that's one of the products. There might be others. I think you might have to go and search for them. But I recommend our own product, verifynow.com. On the other hand, the second part of the question, which is, I think, very, very important, is how do you link them up? So in our product, what we have done is that uh, obviously you can't embed the whole video inside the document. So what we do
mm,
is that uh, the reference of the video with the URL as well as the hash is embedded in the document, and then it is signed. So
mm,
meaning that you can't change it, and then it stays with the document. So if somebody wants to refer what happened, then they can go and check the video and also check if the hash is matching or not, from the video.
mm,
So it's a transparent way of making sure that the video which was captured and the video and the integrity is being kept over there, and you can
mm.
only pull up from our server, that particular video. So in this way, we are able to address, a very valid question which was asked, that how do you associate the video and the document together, and right now that's the best possible solution. I think going forward, if something else, comes up which we can do it better, then we'll do it. Yeah. So if you're on the blockchain scenario, then we'll be putting it on the blockchain, and then we will associating it. But from a user experience point of view, it remains the same. Yeah. I hope I've tried to squeeze it in, even though we shot 2 minutes extra. Uh,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Back to
Thank
you,
you
Sana.
so much. No, thank you
Yeah.
so much, Vikram. That was a very insightful session. And thank you to everybody who's joined in today. I
Yeah.
hope you found this information helpful. If you want to know anything more about digital signing, about non repudiation, and how it would apply to your particular situation, a specific use case you have in mind, please feel free to reach out to us. We are our LinkedIn
Yeah.
profiles and of course publishing this. We would be very happy to just sit and chat and just share what we know, and then we take it from
Yeah.
there. Thank you so much for
Sure.
joining in, and I
Yeah.
hope you all have a
Thank
great
you.
day. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you. Thanks, Sana. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.